Welcome back to the Boozers Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Amir Motamani. I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Panos and Neil. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Fantastic, bro.
I love the energy, Panos. We're also joined today by a special guest, our friend Cheyenne, who's a Warriors fan. So it's actually nice to finally have a Warriors fan representing the podcast during this finals, because we've had a Miami Heat fan give his point of view, a non-fan, I guess, of any teams, Neil Joshi, and then Panos, a Boston Celtics fan. So
shut up.
Excited to have our friend and guest. How are you doing, Cheyenne?
Doing well, baby. Ready to go. Got my Warrior stuff up. I'm not wearing it because I'm too fat for those shirts now. So,
What size are they?
Large.
Okay. We'll get back. It's all right, baby. We'll get back. You'll get back to large soon. You'll fit in those easily. We got the off season. So before we get started for this episode, the agenda is going to be focusing on Game 5 recap, and then, of course, providing our predictions and a quick preview of Game 6, which will happen tomorrow in Boston. So Game 6. But let's go around the horn and see what everybody's drinking tonight. Neil, what you got? We usually start with Neil. Let's start with Neil.
I am really boring today. Just a White Claw mango.
Yeah, buddy.
Also, we see you're in a new, darker room. I mean, it is nighttime. We typically do
Is
these
that the
podcasts.
goat behind you? Is that the goat behind you?
And I am at my parents' house, and that is the goat right there, Michael Jordan.
That's a
right.
sick poster. Are you in your old
It's up
room?
for debate.
No. Let's not get into that.
Not tonight.
Shut up, Panos.
Tomorrow. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
So, Neil, are you in like your childhood room in Fresno?
Yes.
Nice. So, how do your Indian parents have like White Claw in their fridge? And Neil's like, I need to go check to see what my parents have in the fridge. He just landed in Fresno from Texas.
Still from Thanksgiving when me and my sister were in town, and we just didn't finish them.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Hey, Neil, how was your flight? Was it safe?
It was great.
You felt safe?
In San Francisco for 2 hours. I could have seen Amir and Cheyenne, but just...
I didn't answer. Neil
gave
gave
me...
me
like, what the hell, dude?
Neil called me. He's like, hey, can you come pick me up from the airport? And I didn't respond.
What a friend, bro.
He didn't ask me. He had a 2-hour layover. He's not going to freaking say that. I would have definitely picked him up. All right, Panos, what are you drinking tonight?
Obviously, non-alcoholic beverages. I'm going to throw 2 up here tonight, okay? Get ready.
Double fisting, huh?
Double fist in this one. What the fuck is this?
Fucking guy.
Purified, great value right here. You see that shit? And then also I have some 7-Up, a lemon lime, baby.
There we
go.
So if I burp, I'm not apologizing. Shut up, Amir.
You had to do the baby can? You can't even handle the big can of soda?
No, man. It's 10 p.m., bro.
Too much caffeine.
Too much caffeine.
Cheyenne, what you got tonight?
I am drinking 4 Panos and myself.
Yes.
This is a mixed cocktail. As you can see, I need a refill. It is vodka, lime juice, agave, mint, fresh mint from my garden. My wife made this for me. She made the first one, and then I made 3 more. So I'm just like drinking on Panos' behalf, since this is the Boozers podcast. And, I'm just trying to make sure you guys are staying whole and true to your name. So
hey, respect. See this? That's from me to you.
I'm about to be done with this, but in a second,
basketball podcast,
I'm going to switch to my Mr. Dickel in a second.
The Dickel?
Oh yeah, George Dickel. This is the good stuff.
That sounds thickle.
Sounds like
Amir, what are you drinking, Amir?
George Dickel sounds like a future president. Nice to have another boozer on the cast, because the last 2 episodes I feel like I drink half a bottle of wine and an entire bottle of wine. So it's nice to have someone to drink with me. I am drinking Laughing Monk, again, same brewery that I had last time. I guess the last few times.
Which one's that?
Sister Amor. I'm based Pride Week. Was it last week or
Almost
this week?
Sister Amir. Almost.
Oh, good one. Sister Amor, Sister Amir, hazy IPA. Yeah, Laughing Monk. Pretty delicious.
Nice.
Pretty thick. Real
Are we
thick.
going to talk about basketball? I don't think so. Not tonight.
No, not tonight, guys. This is just going to be just 4 friends talking about what they're drinking, talking shit on each other. Let's get into Game 5. Really fun, exciting game, especially for Cheyenne. And I'm not a Warrior fan, but I'm rooting for them, so it was a fun game for me as well. The Boston Celtics lost 97-107 to the Golden State Warriors. Andrew Wiggins with Andrew
Bro, what are you smoking? 94 to 104.
94 to 104. Thank you, panels. Thank you. We have our statistician over here.
That boy.
Keeping me in. I guess I feel the alcohol panel, so I don't feel the 7-Up. So 94 to 104. Behind a wonderful performance, not by just Andrew Wiggins, but basically the entire Warriors team. It was a amazing performance. You know, the Warriors were
Thank you for saying
dominating.
it like that, and not because the Celtics performed poorly. Like
No, it was no. Celtics didn't perform poorly. They played good. They're dumb and stupid.
We'll get into that later,
They
panels.
had one good quarter. The Celtics had one. They won the third quarter. That was it. I mean,
Well,
The first in the series.
first
well,
time in the series, and Steph Curry didn't do anything, and they still lost.
Bruh.
That's
That does not bode well moving forward.
all right. Hey guys, settle down, okay? Let me keep this and orchestrate this first, Neil Joshi, before you guys go all over the place and have stupid takes. Because yeah, Steph Curry didn't do
Stupid,
anything.
bro.
Steph Curry had a bad game for his standards, which is better than most players. So, and also the Celtics didn't just like play like shit, or it wasn't just the Warriors too, right? The Celtics did shoot themselves in the foot, which we'll get into. We'll look at those.
There's a
stats.
few out there.
This is
No,
probably the worst game the Celtics played in the series, I would say.
No, but yeah, well, sure. But there's also they won 2 quarters actually, so it wasn't just the third quarter that they actually played well. There's two significant quarters, which we'll get into why the Warriors won. But overall, I think it was a wonderful team performance across the board, right? And there's a few Celtics players who did okay. But anyway, panels, since you seem energetic from your sips of caffeine, what are your thoughts on that game?
Let's see. Warriors started off strong, super strong in the first quarter. I thought it was gonna be a blowout when I was at work watching the game. Then second half starts. Guess who comes back? They keep chugging along. Boston came back. I think they took the lead, right? But
no,
Are you-
because of Poole's shot, they didn't.
That was
oh,
fourth
that's
quarter.
right.
Took the
Yeah.
lead. Yeah, they did.
They took
They had the lead
but
at one
in
point.
the quarter, they didn't.
No,
They lost
panels.
it in the third
Because
quarter.
of Poole's shot. Poole's
No.
shot at the end of the third
Backboard.
game.
Yeah, he
That's
pulled
what I just
glass.
said. Don't
You
copy
guys
me.
literally are terrible tonight. Okay, what is going on?
What happened?
First-
You want to
you
talk ball? We'll talk ball.
No, you said second quarter. Okay, so first,
No,
let me-
I'm saying second half. They
Oh,
came
sorry.
back strong out of second half. They managed
Yes.
to take the lead, but then Poole did shoot that 3 that hit the backboard. It went in. He hit glass. So, but it went in. They were still looking good. That was the third quarter. They won in the entire series, which was like, okay, this is a good sign. But guess who's playing like dog crap? Fucking Jaylen Brown. I don't even know how poorly he did. Let me look at this real quick. Boom. 5 for fucking 18, bro. 5 turnovers. I mean, Jason Tatum finally has a very efficient shooting night. I guess to his standards, but
In the second half, I feel like
in the second half, yeah. But I mean, if one of your star players is playing good and the other one's playing like dog crap, guess what's gonna happen? And I still think Boston should have won that game. They had it. You can't let Curry off that easy with 0-9 from 3 and shooting less than 30%. You lose that game, you're pretty much going to lose at home tomorrow night. That's how I feel. But I'm going to give props to Wiggins because I'm going to call it right now. If he has another good game, I'm going to see an Andre Iguodala thing here where he can potentially. I'm not hearing it, Amir. Shush.
it's not even close. It's not
I know
even
it's not.
close.
I know it's not close, but
panels. You
he's
know how
pretty
that's going to
consistent.
happen?
He's averaging 9 and 9 with a block and a steal a game
I
and
mean,
2
Wiggins
assists.
deserves his flowers, but he's not the MVP.
I mean,
No.
hey, if Curry has one more bad game,
No.
you know what? You know what?
No, no,
you know
it
what?
has to go to panels. Let me tell you, stop you there. If it goes to 7,
Stop.
Yeah.
if it goes to 7, and Andrew Wiggins in the next 2 games gets 40 and 12.
40, bro.
Shut up. Let me
No, he's
finish
saying
my thought.
across 2 games.
I'm saying across. No, I'm saying if he, the only way he's going to get MVP from Steph is if they go to 7. Because even if he gets 50 the next game and Steph gets only 20, I'm still giving it to Steph.
Well, I know
saying-
they're gonna.
I'm
get
saying-
Steph.
If Wiggins gets 40 points per game the next 2 games and Steph only gets you like 18, 20 points, maybe Wiggins can become MVP. But is Wiggins going to get 40 points per game? Come on, let's be real.
I mean, let's be real here.
You
he
brought
makes
up the fact that he could be like Iguodala winning the MVP.
bro.
There's no
Iggy-
chance
Iggy-
unless
Iggy
Curry gets
averaged
hurt.
6, 7, and 4 in the finals when he won that MVP. Don't tell me he can't do that.
6, 7, and 4. That is
Yeah.
literally. I don't know the numbers, but that is impossible. He averaged 6 points
16, 7-4, and he won the Finals MVP.
You just said 6, 7, and 4. Like
Obviously, I meant to say 16. Duh, who averages 6, 7, and 4 and
you
wins the
said it.
Finals
I don't
MVP.
know. Fact check.
I know it was an
Draymond Green.
error. Scratch it from the record. Okay.
What
So
did Steph average in that finals? Because I don't have that.
I
data.
think in the mid 20s. I mean, but still, like LeBron, I think in that series averaged almost a triple double, and he didn't get.
Don't bring that up. I don't want to.
I'm just saying.
Talk
Okay,
about that.
fuck
If you
that-
lose,
fuck
if
that
you lose,
2015.
if you lose, and Draymond's your best player with averages of 9, 9, and 9, give it to him over LeBron, who had
First of all, they will
I'm
never
not
give
from
it-
that. I'm not from that school of thought of like.
First
if
of all,
you
they won't
lose your
give a
MVP, I don't give a
Finals
fuck
MVP
if you
to
lose.
Draymond Green.
I don't care if Michael Jordan loses to freaking
I'm saying
the
I'm
Lakers
saying
against
here-
Kobe. Like Jordan should not get MVP.
Bro,
The
you want my
Lakers-
input or what? Listen, listen.
Go.
I know they'll give it to Steph Curry because there's no way the NBA won't give it to Steph Curry. It's his time. He's gonna get a Finals MVP regardless. But I'm just saying, like, Wiggins is making, I feel like, has a bigger impact on both ends of the court, especially on defense and on the boards, dude. I mean, he's been stepping it up. I feel like he's the number 2 option out there.
He is. Yeah, that's
Boston
fair.
didn't game plan for Wiggins and plan to trap him and pin him every time he touched the ball, off the ball, high up in the court. Boston changed their game plan for Steph.
In
How
game
can you
five,
say that Wiggins has a bigger impact when the entire opposite team is game planning for Steph?
No, I'm saying, like, on the boards and defense, he's had a bigger impact though. Like, he's averaging over a steal and block per game, and he's
Totally get
averaging
it.
almost 10 rebounds a game.
Well, that's
Dude,
fair.
he had a career high, like, in
Totally
rebounds.
get it. Totally get it. Totally agree. But I don't think you can say Andrew Wiggins has a bigger impact on the finals than Steph does when the opposite team is game planning around Steph.
I don't know. That's just me though.
But also, panels, people say best two-way player for a reason. Jimmy's the best two
Can we
player.
stop bringing up any Heat
I
players
have
from
to.
now on, please?
I have to. Fine. Sorry. Here, a better example. Kawhi.
Just bring. I was gonna say, bring up Kawhi Leonard.
Shut your mouth. Kawhi, Paul
LA bitch.
George,
No, I'm joking.
Kawhi, Paul George, or whoever. A good. They say two-way player for a reason. We're not going to take that away from you. Of course, Andrew Wiggins is a better defender than Steph. Of course, he's 6'7",
I'm
6'8".
just
Of course,
saying.
he's a better rebounder than Steph. But the gravity that Steph has, the impact that he has, like he's a superstar. So of
I
course
know
he's
he's a
gonna.
superstar.
Of
I'm
course,
just-
you think Wiggins is gonna have that impact? Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. I'll give him all the flowers that he deserves for getting
Like-
12 and 16 in like those 2 games back to back. But like, of course, he's gonna get buckets and like be effective as long as he's aggressive. That's better because Steph is the one who's gonna create those opportunities and shots. for him.
Like for example, like I feel like Robert Williams is one of their Boston's best players. You know what I mean? Like Warriors have to adjust on offense when he's on the court too.
He's destroyed pool parties like mind. He has totally gotten in his head. You could see that in the first few games. He was so scared to attack the basket like he usually does because
Yeah.
Williams would just be a massive presence there. But continue,
Yeah.
Panos, please.
No, I mean, no, I was just saying, like, I said it in the last podcast. I'm like, when the Warriors beat Boston in Boston, like you saw the bench, it zoomed out and it went to the bench and everyone looked fucking defeated. Like they looked like they gave up. So I'm like, I still feel like I'm saying Warriors in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors just crushed them Thursday night. Their souls.
Got it. All right, let's switch gears.
Thank
Shine,
you.
as a Warrior fan, just looking at the box, or if I told you before the game that Steph Curry is going to go 0 for 9 from 3 and shoot 30% just overall, what would your prediction have been in terms of the
Guaranteed L.
result? Right?
Guaranteed L. 100% an L, because the way the series has gone, they've been so like dependent on Steph to score.
Yeah.
Especially in the scoring aspect, right? Wiggins' ability to score his average and slightly above it with his defense is expected, right? What changed last game was his rebounding. We haven't seen that type of rebounding from Wiggins with the Warriors. Like honestly, we haven't. And I was listening to Sports Talk Radio this morning. They were interviewing Steve Kerr, and he was like, everything Wiggins did last game was expected except for the rebounds. And now he's like, well, now Wiggins doesn't have an excuse next season when I say like, I expect rebounds from you now. So I think like that comes down to like Wiggins' athleticism. He was number 1 pick for a reason. I don't think he has that killer mentality like a Kobe Bryant or an MJ or LeBron. So, all that pressure on him, I think him coming to the Warriors as like a third option or fourth option, whatever, is like really, really perfect for him, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a long-winded answer to your question.
No, you're good.
But would you say Wiggins in this series seems like he's the second option in this series?
Yeah, like absolutely, because Jordan Poole has been destroyed mentally, I think.
He's played better. Poole has played better the past couple games.
He has. The first two games, I feel like the finals got into his head, and then Robert Williams in the paint just like scared the shit out of him. Because Poole is really good at attacking the basket. A couple strides and he's there. Robert Williams was like, "No, you're not getting that layup, buddy." Which is a testament to Robert Williams. The guy's a monster.
The thing I like about Poole, and like one thing is that it doesn't take a lot of shots for his confidence to start going. You know what I mean? Like his ego, which is good. Like the team needs that. He needs that.
You don't like that though.
I don't like it, and I like it at the same time.
There you go. Let's just let the truth.
I was gonna say that earlier, but I'm just saying, I'm like, man, this guy takes one shot, he's busting balls.
What Panos wants to say is that like usually you see that Poole sort of surge in a blowout, you know what I'm saying? But when he hit that shot at the end of the third quarter in game 5, like that was a game changer.
It was.
Oh yeah.
I think there were 3 shots that changed the game. That was one of them.
That's also the energy out of Boston. Like I think they were just tired in the fourth. They used it was their last stand to come back from that deficit. They finally win a third quarter against Golden State, and then Poole hits that 3. And then the start of the fourth quarter is all Warriors, and then Boston is screwed. Like Tatum's missing free throws, Jaylen Brown's committing dumb turnovers, and then the game's gone from you.
And Tatum was committing dumb turnovers, but just
selection was bad.
Yeah, always. Just to stick with the Poole thing too, it's like let's give credit to Boston, who was the number 1 offense in the regular season, number 2 in the playoffs behind the Warriors, which I keep saying. No one talks about the Warriors as an elite defense. They always talk about their offense because of the Splash Bros and their depth, and they have a lot of good players. But also to give Boston credit, I think with Poole and just generally, they have so much good length. We always talk about they're really good on the perimeter, good rotation. So Poole, not only is he fearful of Robert Williams, but like he's going against like a Jaylen Brown at times, a Marcus Smart, a Tatum. Because like I remember like in the first round against the Nuggets, he had like 3 out of the 5 games, he had like 20 plus points. He hasn't had like a 20 point game, right? I feel like since like the Dallas series, or did he have any in the Dallas series? I know in the second round against Memphis.
One in the Dallas series. He struggled in the Dallas series as well. It was with against like Jokic and the team where he really flourished and scored like, I think he had a 40-point game, didn't he? Or 30 plus?
30 something. He had 28, like a 30, like a 21. And then like I think he had like also like 1 or 2 against Memphis. Like he slowed down. You're like, oh shit, this guy's becoming a star.
When it started slowing down. Because like when they first started against Denver, Steph was still trying to come back. So like Poole was really taking on that scoring load.
Yeah, he's coming off the injury.
And he handled it well. So you know that he's capable of putting that kind of production out there, but as Steph has kind of reworked his way back into the rotation, and what you're getting from him, it hasn't been as like necessary for Poole to score like 25 points, but he's played a lot better the past couple of games.
I agree.
I got to say that he has looked much better.
I agree. And I really do think it's because of not only the coaching, but I do think it's because of like the veterans on the team, like Draymond, like telling him, like, just play your game. Like, it's okay if you get blocked, whatever, just play your damn game.
Also Gary Payton Jr. had a little bit of energy that game too. I thought he played pretty well.
Gary Payton was plus 16. He was the highest plus or minus. He was incredible.
He played good. Points off the bench. Like,
he had 3 steals.
Anybody saw that coming.
He scored more than Poole.
I didn't see that.
He scored more than Poole.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if he showed up out of nowhere, that's great.
All right, Neil. So what do you think your biggest opinion was on the reason why the Warriors won that game, or why you think Boston lost that game?
Well, I think Shia made a good point in that Ime Udoka kind of changed the strategy, and he put a lot of resources towards trapping Steph, and then it opened up the game for other people. And Andrew Wiggins was right there for the taking, 26 and 13. Like, that's a phenomenal game. But if Steph's going to go 0 for 9, you have to like your chances. But this is probably why he was so like hesitant on changing his strategy. He's like, we're just going to let Steph beat us. And then if we can stop everybody else, we can live with the consequences. But when you lose game 4 the way you did, you have to really evaluate what the best way to move forward is. And he decided to go with a strategy and it didn't work for him, like in terms of like killing Steph's momentum. And,
So what-
it's great on the Warriors that they have other options that are stepping up, because Boston doesn't really have that right now. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, like they're just not playing at a level that you need to win a championship. They're contributing maybe like 85% of what you need. They're not quite there. They're making dumb turnovers. They're missing a lot of shots. And then the Boston's bench is non-existent right now. Like, who do you expect to show up out of like Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams in a game 6 right now? I don't know who you would pick. Maybe.
Right. And I mean, and that goes back to game 1, right? Like, were they going to win game 1 without White and Horford hitting career highs with their threes, right? I think they both had career highs, right? Like
in the playoffs, yeah.
Off in game 1. Absolutely. He had one game like that against Milwaukee, but then that's kind of been like the one game in the series that he gets, and then he kind of fades away. But I don't know who you can count on Boston's bench.
Do you guys think Tatum
No one.
is that? Do you guys think Tatum is that guy? Like,
No,
everyone
he's
thinks
not.
he's gonna be?
I mean, like we're talking like different levels. Like he's definitely, in my opinion, a top 15 player in the league. He's 24 years old. This is
He's
still
more than top 15. He's top. I hate him, and I don't want to give him his
You
credit.
think he's
I
top
would
10?
say between 10 and 15.
He's 10 at least. I feel like he's at 10.
All right,
That's
let's
a
not go down the
big
list.
take.
Let's not go down the
Yeah.
list.
That's going to be a time-consuming exercise, but
I mean, let's give him. Okay, I'm giving him so much shit. I've been at panels.
I
you know,
know
but you
have,
both know that.
and you're
I don't
poking,
think he's top 15.
yo,
I'm just saying.
Amir, you're poking good holes into like ways he can get better, but like the reality is Boston lost in the first round last year to Brooklyn. Okay, then this year they sweep Brooklyn, they take out the defending champs, they beat your team on a game 7 on the road, and then they have to play the Warriors. That's a pretty gnarly run to a championship.
That's true.
And
That's
it's
impressive.
very
Then
close.
then you're giving me the argument of why like he beat KD, he beat Giannis, he beat Jimmy. Like that, you're giving him his credit that he's getting in there. And he's
I'm saying
24.
This
And I hate this guy.
Great season for Boston. I think this is a great season for Boston, but we're finding so many flaws in what they're doing, like turnovers, inconsistency. Like this team seems like they still have another level they can get to. And if Tatum is 24 and Brown is still in his like 4th or 5th year in the league, like that's kind of scary, because like Boston's best is probably still in front of them, even if they lose this series.
I do
totally.
think like the Warriors defense in the past 2 games, we've seen an uptick in that defense, and
Yeah.
especially Draymond. Draymond's had,
He had a good
we're not
couple
expecting a lot of
games.
stats out of Draymond, but in terms of his like running the offense and defense, he's had a pretty rough series, right? He did pretty damn good last game, but the entire team, the last 2 games, their defense, I feel like has stepped up, especially last game. Like, I feel like Draymond was like switching a lot faster than he usually was in the first 3 games. Clay looked a lot more agile last game. Like he was anticipating a lot quicker. And that's like, it's tough for him, right? He's coming off a double injury 2 seasons out. Like his agility is impacted. And then obviously the Glove Junior, like with 3 steals and just like causing havoc. I feel like their defense caused a lot of those turnovers, which, you know, if you're going to turn over the ball that many times on the road, you know, it's a recipe for a loss. I don't know. Do you guys feel like you noticed like a difference in the Warriors D?
Yes, 100%. And I said this before game 4 that the Warriors need to hold Boston under 100 if they want to win. I think that's been a clear indicator of success, and they've done it the last 2 games. Whatever it may be that Boston is maybe self-inflicting on themselves with turnovers, Jason Tatum struggling, he's not being aggressive enough. You have to give Golden State's defense credit for kind of putting him in those situations where he can't really thrive. So yeah, 100%. And Amir, you brought it up first, I think in the Western Conference Finals, when you were saying that you really think that Golden State's defense doesn't really get the attention and credit that it deserves. But over these last 2 games, they've really been like the star of the show. And if you win a game where Steph is like a non-factor for the most part, like that's impressive, especially
Other than just being a decoy, right? He was basically a decoy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny too because I think this game was a combination of Warriors defense, the rest of their team stepping up
Yeah.
on behalf of Curry, but then also Boston shooting themselves in the foot because Boston's such a good team. As much as I hate them and don't want to give them any credit, like they were still in that game. They were down 11 in the first. They were down 12 in half. They took the lead 72-74. Like it was towards the end of the third quarter, right? Like they chipped away. Then they hit 8 threes in a row. They went 0 for 12 to start the game. Tatum hit his first three with 4 minutes to go in the first half. He started heating up.
He got loose.
First half, he started heating up a little bit, and then third quarter, obviously, he was killing it with those threes. The team went 8 for 8, and then 9 for 11 to end the third quarter to take that 11-point swing. It would have been a 14-point positive quarter unless we already said it, unless unless Poole hit that 33-foot buzzer beater, which is becoming like it's a knack for him to hit a buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter. This one was more impactful.
Off the bank. Banks are open, baby, except for Sundays. Panos, suck it.
Crazy. So
I'll do an electronic transfer.
So it's crazy though. It's like even with like how good Warriors defense has been, and how Steph Curry had a bad game for his standards, and the rest of the team pretty much except for Looney, who played great. He didn't really play a lot. He played good on defense for sure. Him and like Otto Porter were the only people that stood out that didn't really have much of an impact that game, but everybody else played perfectly, right?
Like Wiggins was the star of the show, right? Like
100%.
The fact that Steve Kerr is able to say, "Hey Wiggins, I want you to just go play Tatum one-on-one the entire fucking game and play defense on him." And the first half, he did a damn good job. Like Tatum was not looking good in the first half. I was like, wow, another shitty game for Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
He got hot as hell in the third quarter. He was draining threes in his face, that's why Jason Tatum, like that's why some of us think he's like a top 10, top 15, whatever. He's able to do that. But the fact that Kerr's able to be like, Wiggins, you go out and just play one-on-one on Tatum, like they're basically their best player, like it says a lot.
Yeah, definitely. What are you smiling at, Panos?
Because there was an awkward silence there for a second.
Say something. Drink another sip of your freaking
Here,
caffeine.
yeah, here we go.
All right, so Panos, tell me about how you feel though. So you were upset. Shut the hell up. You were so upset. You're like, Curry is getting carried by these fools. Like, how upset were you that Boston
but like
blew
when
it?
like these guys said, like if Curry is having a poor night shooting, you need to win that game, and it didn't happen. Like, I mean, what else can I say? That's the easiest way to put it. It's like if Curry's shooting less than 30%, anytime you just looking at those numbers, just look at Curry's numbers, like just show them the stats. What are people going to say? It's like, oh, they lost that game.
No, but also, sure, yeah, of course, unless pull up the box, unless Wiggins gets you 20. Let's give everybody their flowers. No shit.
Wiggins gets lots of flowers.
Wiggins gets tons of flowers. Well, and so does Gary Payton.
So here's the context, Panos. The Celtics didn't do enough offensively to negate.
They were bad in the first half, man.
I don't think I think they did enough. I just think they missed too many shots
for Boston to make some real
sort of open up the game.
I mean, like they were down 12 at halftime, but Golden State didn't play well either, and Boston missed a big opportunity.
Let me ask you this: Let me ask you this, Neil. Did Golden State win that game, or did Boston lose that game? In your opinion?
I gotta say, Golden State won it because they fell behind in the third. Like they had a huge lead. Everybody in the building thinks that Golden State's going to blow them out in the third quarter. They lose the lead, and then they come back and win. So I'm going to say Golden State won it, but I'm just saying, like Boston, they just have these stretches where you're just scratching your head, like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
The entire first half, that's what I was thinking watching Boston, because
and the fourth quarter,
because like Golden, like you talked about how Boston started 0 for 12 from 3. I think Golden State missed 14 threes in a row themselves. So the door's open for you. Curry's having like a historically bad night. in his career, and you can't take advantage. And then you get one quarter of good play. But if they would have played like a solid first half, they really could have taken that game in the second half. But they put themselves in too big a hole, so that when they made the comeback, they had used all their bullets and they're just like gassed, and then they get routed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's so many variables to this shit. I was gonna say, panelists, on paper, Curry played the way he played. They shouldn't have won. But like I said, Wiggins, 26 and 13. Clay, third 20-point game in a row, 21 points, 7 for 14, 5 from 11 from 3. Curry, even we're saying he had a shitty game for his standards, he had 16 points. He shot 7 from 13 from 2. So like he still shot. He still
Yeah, he shot
he
over
still
50.
he shot over 50 from the layups and mid range. He had 8 assists. He only had 1 turnover. He had 3 rebounds. Like he's still like 0 for 9 was a dud, but like to his stand, he still scored 16. Let's look at Green. 8 for Green is spectacular. He's been averaging 4. 8, 8, and 6, 3 steals. Gary Payton, insane. 15. We know what he does on the defensive end. He had more points than Jordan Poole. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 6 for 8. Like insane. If he's giving you 15 points off the bench, that's I don't care how Curry's playing. Like that's and mentioning Draymond playing to his standards, Wiggins playing above his head, Clay playing like old school Clay to a certain degree. I'm sure not completely. He's like at 80%, but getting 20 points 3 times in a row, huge. And then Jordan Poole, 14. He had 4 for 8, 3 for 6 for 3. Like they had 31 points off their bench. And scratch garbage time, Boston had 5. White had 1 point, and I think Grant Williams had 3.
White's dropped.
Game. He's got to forget that game for the rest of his life.
He is all over the place.
Yeah, and also
don't you guys think that is like the legacy of this Warriors team is if their superstar cannot score, the rest of their team usually steps up. Like even when back in the Cavs series, like Andre Iguodala winning the MVP, like that should be just evidence right there. Like that's what this team's kind of all about.
I would say it's their ability to kind of rebuild the talent while also kind of riding their stars, because now they have all these youngsters on the bench. Like we were talking about, like Kuminga, like should he play? Moses Moody, like they got all these players that are ready to contribute, like, but their actual stars are still performing at a high level. So this could still keep going.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a new ownership, right? Like Lacob, he's not here to lose, and he's willing to spend as many millions as he wants on luxury tax to win, right? Like he doesn't want this to end.
That's what you want, just willing to spend as much as it takes. And the trade for Wiggins is like a home run for Golden State right now.
Home run. I mean, what do you guys think about the rookies not getting time? You know, like listening to sports talk radio up in the Bay Area, I hear a lot of callers call in to these guys and be like, oh, like, why doesn't Steve Kerr put in Kuminga? He's athletic. Boston's so much more athletic than the Warriors. He can like offset some of that. Like, usually the radio guys are like, oh, he's a rookie. He's going to get destroyed mentally. Like, do you guys think Kuminga should be getting minutes?
I think if you would have used him, you would have used him like in a game 4 when it's a little bit less stakes. But now that Golden State has control of the series, I don't see it to be as necessary. It would have been good for him to get the experience, just to see what he can do in a important situation. But I also understand it. Maybe he just doesn't feel like he's ready yet.
Yeah.
I don't really have
right. Like one thing that was interesting was Steve Kerr benched Draymond Green at the end of game 4.
Defense, offense.
Like Draymond Green was super salty about it in his press conference, but he didn't make a big deal about it. He's like, yeah, like if coach tells me
like shit, he played
like shit. Sit out. And then he played a lot better in game 5, you know? So it seems like everybody is kind of on the same page in terms of like who's playing, who's not. And there's probably just a implicit understanding that this isn't Kuminga's time really to see the court.
Yeah. I go either way. I mean, you tighten the leash. You usually do, depending how deep you are. Like if you're really deep, you can go 9-man rotation. And I mean, like the 9th guy will get like 15 minutes max. If you're deep, if you're not, you could see what the Celtics and Warriors have been doing. They're like 8-man deep. And I feel like if you're really struggling, then, and if you don't have that belief that a certain player is not going to produce, like he's in a complete funk, give Kuminga 5-6 minutes in a quarter, see what happens, see if he can he's also too raw. So I could see why Kerr wouldn't do that. Like Kerr's a veteran, top 15 coach of all time, like one of the best coaches of all time. Like he's it's not just the players. Like obviously every great coach has to have a great team, otherwise they're not going to win. But he's doing it for a reason. He understands it's not his time. He's too raw. Why give Kuminga that time? I believe in my team. I believe in Looney. I believe in Otto Porter. I believe in Payton. I believe in Poole. They can provide those minutes and they'll figure it out, right? Like I think that's probably what goes in his head. He's given Bajelica, aka Bielitsa, former Heat player Panos.
God,
he
you gotta find a
he
way
and
to
a
bring the
Kings
Heat
player.
into the conversation.
and a Kings player. Yeah, I actually like Bielitsa a little bit, but like he's so freaking terrible at defense. But he's
Yeah, he is.
at times he's like okay, he can't move his feet, but he gave him like randomly 5 or 7 minutes. So it
Hey,
depends
if
on
you're giving him minutes, you better
matchups.
give Kuminga minutes.
That's what I was saying. Like, so I'm like, I can go either way of like,
Yeah, but Bielitsa is like he can be an inside presence at least as a body. I don't know.
he's a good playmaker. He could hit a three if he needed to. He's not going to make an impact, but he's capable of making threes and playmaking. Kuminga's going to rely on his like athleticism and like physicality, and he's just too raw. He doesn't have the experience. So either way. But
Can
yeah,
I say something real quick?
go for it.
Coming into this podcast, I've been watching you guys and I've created 3 nicknames, one nickname for each of you. And so far in this experience, you've really almost been very true to those nicknames. Amir is Stat Boy. I call him Stat Boy because like when we used to play basketball, he'd like know everyone's stats.
Yeah, he'd always talk about his rebounds, assists, and blocks. And
You know why?
points.
You know why? Because Ice Cube taught me that he fucked around and got a triple double, right? The Lakers beat the Supersonics.
Great reference.
Like
Right,
I bet
anyway.
Amir still knows our stats from like playing in his backyard when we were like 15 years old. But Panos, actually, I'm going to come to Panos last. Neil, I'm going to call you ESPN because you're East Coast bias. That's what you are. You went to Syracuse and you're just an East Coast bias kind of guy. And it's also your fantasy football name in my league.
That's true.
Panos, I just need you to confirm this one more time. Are you rooting for the Celtics to win this series?
I'm rooting for Tatum.
Okay, so by default, he answered it for you, Cheyenne.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so your nickname is Benedict Arnold. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, we call Carney that.
Cheyenne, here's another good one too. Et tu, Brute? You're gonna fucking stab Julius Caesar in the back, Brutus, Judas. You want another one? Fucking killed. Panos killed Jesus, killed Caesar.
I just don't know how you can root for Boston, man. Like that is LA's title rival, straight up.
I gave my reason why. Because Tatum's a Kobe guy, but like
All right,
honestly,
all right. We don't have to rehash it.
yeah, like I said before, like to me, like I don't care who wins, but if the Warriors win, which I think they are going to win tomorrow night, 17-17.
All right, fair enough.
It's win-win, right? It's
Yeah,
win-win.
but what you think is not what you want. There's a
So
difference.
you're thinking Boston's going to win?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you think and predicted the Warriors are going to win, but we asked you, and we know you want Tatum, aka Boston, to win. You never say I want Boston. You say I want Tatum, and we already know that. We don't need to rehash that stuff. But
Yeah.
again, I'm always going to throw this in. You should be a Suns fan.
I just wanted to get those nicknames out, because I'm going to stick to those nicknames.
I like it. But also, Panos always going to say you should be a Booker fan too because he loves Kobe almost as much
Booker's
as Tatum.
trash.
See, you're very selective then. So you're from. So not only is Panos
Other Lakers rival too, the Suns.
also
Ish.
that's fair.
Not
That's fair.
like the Celtics, but a little bit.
Not only
Vision.
Panos is a Benedict Arnold and a Julius Caesar and Jesus killer, but he's also a fair weather fan. He selects the better of the two because Booker sucks, but Tatum doesn't. So he picks the guy who's better that likes Kobe. So all right, I see you, Panos.
I
see
mean, they're both kind of the same. Just maybe Tatum rebounds a bit more.
They're not the same. Tatum's definitely better than fucking Booker.
I think Booker is way overrated.
Way overrated, and Tatum's way better. He's getting way better at defense than KD in his career. Like KD later in his career became a really fucking good defender. Another story for that. But Jason Tatum's a similar KD type player, and I think he's developing on the defensive end. Booker sucks dick at
No, I know
defense.
Booker sucks.
All right, let's look at some box score real quick. Last stats before we switch into our predictions. Panels, I guess, is already flip-flopping over here now.
Yeah, what?
What are you talking about, bro? I told you game 7 Warriors.
No, you said game 6. You said the Warriors are going to win tomorrow. Didn't you
I
just
said
say that 5 seconds
I
ago?
said I did say this. I did say that, but I also said game 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if they win in game 6.
Okay, fine. That's well. Now you said it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
Okay.
sure we're gonna get into official predictions, right? I'm sure we will.
We will. Yeah. I just want to just go look at the
That boy's got to do some work first.
stats real quick, just to showcase. No, this game was kind of crazy. Like honestly, so from team statistics, not individual. We already talked a little bit about that. So overall field goals, the Celtics shot 31 for 75. That's 41%. Not bad, not terrible. Warriors shot 41 for 88. Yeah, 41 for 88, 47%. But I mean, that's not bad. What do you mean? That's pretty good for a team, 47%. 41's bad compared to 47. But anyway, shush, Panos. 88 to 75. They shot 13 times more than the Celtics. That's like a bad recipe for anybody playing against the Warriors.
Right? Because of the rebounds.
No, it's because
Boston had more rebounds.
It's because of the missed shots. Boston, in theory, should have had more shots. That's all I want to get down to that point. So 3-point field goals, 34% for the Celtics, 11 for 32. So they started off terribly, but then made it pretty respectable at 34%. Warriors, like it's just such a weird box score for the teams. 9 for 40, 23%, right? And they still won, which is pretty impressive. So I didn't round up. It's 23%, 9 for 40. Shut up, House. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Boston shot significantly better from 3. Free throws was the story of the game. I've Boston fans annoy the fuck out of me on Reddit, social media platforms. They're like, oh my god, the Celtics like always never get these calls, all these phantom bullshit calls. I'm like, dude, if you look at their stats and they're like across every series, they've been shooting way more free throws than anybody else. They shot 31 free throws to the Warriors 15, and they were still complaining.
Thank you.
67%.
Jason Tatum choked at the line. I think Jason Tatum was 2 for 6 at the line.
2 for 6.
Oh my god, I did not know that. I knew he missed several. I didn't know it was that bad.
Atrocious. So they were
go ahead.
They were 21 from 31, shot 68%. Right.
You rounded that one up.
Right. Stop it, panels. Literally look, 41% field goal, not bad. 34, not bad from 3. 68% stands out because they had more than double the free throws. They had some unfortunate calls go against them in the fourth quarter. We can admit that, but overall, they still had way more free throws. They're complaining, which is a joke. So the Warriors 13 out of 15, 87%. So again, that stands out. That's huge.
1 to 15.
Started falling asleep
that's
there.
Significant for sure.
Yeah, here's the biggest one, and I think that the trend that we talked about: 18 turnovers for the Celtics, only 6 for the Warriors. Jason Tatum
for the Warriors, honestly.
Anybody, that's like insane. Like 6 is like
the Warriors have that sort of same problem sometimes, right? As turnovers.
Oh yeah,
they haven't had it for the last couple of games though.
Yeah,
that's the experience and discipline coming in when it matters most.
So Tatum and Brown had 9, so they had 3 more turnovers between their 2 best players. So very significant stat there. And then the big one, usually rebounds is a big indicator too as well, unless your team shoots like absolute dog shit. 47 rebounds to the Warriors 39, 8 offensive to 4. And even though they had more rebounds, they had 13 less shots than the Warriors, which makes absolutely no sense. It does because of the turnovers. I mean, in theory, it's just such a weird game, right? Because like the turnovers were 18-6. Of course, that made up for the reason why, right? They would turn the ball over and then Warriors would get an extra shot, but they had more rebounds. Like that's all I need to say right there. Like nuts. The Warriors had 28 fouls to 16. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what an impressive.
I thought you said something about the Heat. Sorry.
They're the best team in the world, Panos, right? It's not good. Hey, at least I
team to beat Miami Heat.
Okay, at least I stick to my team, clown. I'm not a Laker. Exactly. Thank you. I stick to my team.
I mean, you guys wanted me to pick a team.
I stick to my story,
Simpson.
I stick to my story. But anyway, let's just end it with what an impressive win by the Warriors at home. Big game 6 coming up tomorrow night at Boston. Elimination game. The Celtics have been here before in the playoffs. They've won pretty much every elimination game thus far. And let's see what our predictions are. Panos, you're the wild card. I have no clue. You flip flop
I
every day.
mean,
So you flip flop between teams.
I picked the Warriors in
decisions.
7, so I'll make my prediction. I'm gonna say if I said Warriors in 7, I gotta go with it still. So I'm gonna say Boston takes it tomorrow.
I like it. I like
Score.
it.
I mean, even with Game 6 Clay, they have to take it.
We even talked about that, but that's yep. Anyway,
Did you just mute me?
what's the score? No, I did not. I wish I can kick you out. But what's your prediction on the score?
I don't do scores, but I'll do it for you tonight. Let's see.
You do it every episode. I asked the
I know,
same
I'm
question.
joking.
What do you mean I don't do
So,
scores?
like Neil says, every time they score below 100, it's been a loss, right? 2 times below 100, they lost. So I'm gonna say, because I have to get this right for the Warriors to win in 7. Boston, the Ticks, 112. Don't shake your head, bro. The Ticks and 112.
Kobe
And-
is shaking his head at you right now.
Yeah, he's looking down. He's like, "You motherfucker." And then the Golden State Warriors, 110. Very close game.
112,
Ooh.
110. Damn.
Yeah,
Damn,
just because it's like I feel like the Warriors are gonna kick their ass, but Boston. I mean, I have to go with my predictions. So shut up, Amir.
Walking contradiction. Neil, go ahead.
I gotta go Warriors here. I think Boston's last stand was the third quarter of Game 5. I thought they were like when they were making that comeback, I was like, wow, like Boston might actually pull this off. But I just think like the letdown of losing the fourth quarter lead in Game 4 and then what happened in Game 5. I just think Boston's out of gas. Like they've had a couple of really grueling series against Milwaukee and Miami, and now they're playing another quality team. And I don't know. I just don't see it. I think Golden State wins like semi comfortably, like 103-93, something like that.
Damn, under 103 in a row, huh? Tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Who did you predict? Well, did you do Warriors in
He said
7?
Warriors in 6.
I had Warriors in 6 before the series started, but then I kind of contradicted myself by picking Boston before Game 5.
You did, you handsome sly devil. I see you. So you're thinking, so this is like the Lord of the Rings. This is the Battle of Helm's Deep, but for the orcs. That's
What are you talking about, bro?
Boston is the orcs. They're the fucking ugly piece of shit team, and they like had their last chance. They almost won the battle, which was Game 5 in that third quarter, Battle of Helm's Deep. But then fucking Gandalf comes in with freaking the. I'm like. He comes in.
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
He comes in with the horn of Gondor or whatever.
Oh my
And they
God,
come and they
dude.
fucking save the day. And then
Somewhere
Gandalf
Carney
says,
and Bonnie went from 6 to midnight, bro. Just go on.
and then so basically Gandalf says like the Battle of Helm's Deep is over. That's the Warriors because Warriors are Gandalf and they're gonna
My
fucking win.
God, bro.
He's like the battle for Middle Earth has just begun, which is Game 6.
I can't
The
believe
Warriors
this
are gonna
shit.
win. No, it's
Bro, is that Gandalf the Gray or Gandalf the White?
good. Gandalf the White, baby. So I'm gonna go next, and then we'll save the Warriors fan for next because I'm pretty sure it's pretty predictable.
You know what he's gonna say.
I'm gonna guess, but I'm gonna say and stick with my prediction initially because I'm not a Boston fan like Panos. I said the Warriors in 6, so obviously I'm rooting for the Warriors in 6. I'm gonna go Warriors 105 to 99. So I'm gonna stick with 6. I picked them to win by 6 last game. They won by 10. I'll guess I'll go with Neil with just 3 under 100, just because I just feel like Denver, not Denver. I was gonna say Denver. Jesus Christ, it must be buzzed. Warriors defense is gonna step up on the road. I think they have to. I think they want to close this out and finish it.
And like lower scoring too, like really defensively oriented. They kind of know what each other's gonna run. There's no like sort of surprises left, so it's really starting to kind of trend lower scoring.
Yeah. So that's my prediction. And Cheyenne, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
All right. First of all, this is like around the horn, right? So I have a few minutes here. I want to start with this trophy here.
Oh, you
This
have
is
one too?
my first place trophy in the Van Car NBA Fantasy Basketball League, led by Vonik Panosian, a previous guest on this show. I just wanted to say, I know he's going to watch this. The name tag thing is getting a little loose, so I might send it to you. I just want you to like rebuild it for me. So just to give you guys some background on my history with the NBA, I think the easy pick I know two people picked the Warriors. I know the easy pick is Boston. They're at home. Game 6. Everyone's like, oh yeah, the Warriors will punt and go back home. I think it's really going to come down to if the Warriors can continue with their defensive intensity that they've had the past 2 games, it's going to go down in the fourth quarter. If they can just continue that defensive intensity. And then if Boston, I feel like Tatum's going to show up. I feel like Tatum's going to put up points. It's going to come down to Jaylen Brown and these other role players like White and Horford making an impact. That's going to be their only chance to win this game. I think in the end, I got to go Warriors in 6. It's Father's Day on Sunday. I want Steph to enjoy Father's Day. I want the Warriors to. I want Boston to enjoy it as well. I'm a good person. But I'm gonna go Warriors. I like that you guys are picking Boston under 100 points. I think that's a really good point, Neil. I think it's a good point when you say they're under 100 points. Like, yeah, they're gonna lose. So I'm gonna go Warriors 107, Boston 99. And like I got money. So let me know, Neil. Let me know who to put it on, baby. Let me know. Let me know the spread, money line, take points.
Golden State's an underdog.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
-4. Wait, is that Monopoly money or is your electrician coming over tomorrow morning?
Oh, I sold the car today.
He gave you
got
cash?
baby.
Damn.
He paid for the whole thing in cash?
Oh yeah, dude, he's Afghan, just like you, bro. They only do transaction in cash.
Wait, do you have the magic marker? It's freaking fake money.
No, I know. That's like I have to go to the bank tomorrow. I hope they accept it.
The guy's like, dude, the guy's probably on a container right now. The car is shipping it back to Afghanistan right now. He's already gone. And you have like Monopoly money. Oh man, I guess he might be going to the Yellow Rose, Neil. Tonight.
That's right, baby.
Takes a flight straight there.
The viewers that are watching, you guys know what the Yellow Rose is. You guys don't even try to
sure.
trip. You guys know. Panos
Love
doesn't, obviously, because
I
he's
don't.
fucking Sprite over there. Mini can of Sprite, god damn it. Benedict Arnold.
Hey, Amir, if you realize if the Warriors lose tomorrow, which I don't know, but if they lose tomorrow, your guys' prediction are wrong. So then you guys lose your predictions and revoke all your basketball heat talking privileges on this podcast.
Wow. Did you just make that rule up?
No, I'm just joking.
Guys, this is coming from my new nickname. I'm going to call him now because thank you, Curtis.
How many
Zuchheim.
nicknames, bro?
Voldemort.
Well, that's a given.
I like Voldemort. Can you give me that one? I'll take it.
I've already called you that on the podcast. You're Benedict Arnold right now because this guy's trying to kick me off about mentioning the Heat when he's a freaking Lakers fan rooting for the Celtics. Rooting.
When I'm a Lakers fan rooting for Tatum, you're right.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Only way Warriors win is if they have a couple of those big shots, those momentum killers. Clay had 2 last game. We forgot to talk about that. Clay had 2 massive shots that killed Boston's momentum last game, in addition to Poole's, intentional bank shot. But it's going to come down to that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be close.
Should be a good one. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today's episode. Really appreciate your guys' time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.